This is the mayor of Blacktown. This is the mayor of Blacktown. Today is Wednesday, October 16, 2013, and I'm making this video, quick, impromptu video. I want to know who had a father. Who had a father besides myself? I cannot believe that I seemingly am the only black man in the media, certainly in the national media, who talks about manhood and fatherhood and the importance of fatherhood and the demise of fatherhood. And of course, the media, the corporate-sponsored media, is at the root of this. And we are seeing right before our eyes these corporations rot. They have no moral aside from profit. They have no moral. These people are sick. They are demonic. They are demented. They have negated the importance of fatherhood and cultivating boys into men, and manhood. And fatherhood is a big part of boys becoming men. But as long as I've been on YouTube and Facebook, over 10 years, and it's surreal that I seemingly am the only one to understand the importance of fatherhood and can, quote, brag that I had a strong black father. And of course, I talk about the strong black father of Joe Jackson, who raised Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 musical family from rags to riches out of Gary, Indiana. Venus and Serena, the two black girls who are world champion tennis stars. They had a strong black father who took them from rags to riches. Michael Jordan, another beautiful story of a strong black father. And of course, Tiger Woods, strong black father. And of course, myself, the mayor of Blacktown. I had a strong black father, fought in World War II. He was a sergeant. Yet I don't hear anybody in the media bragging about their father, or even bragging that they seek to be and become strong black fathers. This is surreal to me, considering so many things, among them the threat that has lasted for a few days to literally shut down the United States government in defiance of the Congress, the Senate, and the Supreme Court ruling in favor of affordable care insurance, so-called Obamacare. But the point is, this thing is surreal to me. I cannot believe that I don't hear anybody talking about fatherhood. What I hear in the black community is that all of our problems can only be solved on election day, which is that is absolutely insane. And it is an indication, it's indicative, it's symptomatic of how sick the black community is. We need men, we need fathers, but it's just, I cannot believe that I seemingly am the only black man who had a strong black father. Yeah. Just surreal, and I see the evidence of it every day of how dysfunctional black boys are. And of course, the biggest example, like I've always said, is the sagging pants crisis, which is now in Wikipedia as a anthropological phenomenon. It's not just a fashion trend, it's a literal phenomena of socialization or society or whatever you want to call it. Some people tried to label sagging pants as just a passing fashion fad. Yeah, well, sagging pants has been around for almost 20 years, since the days of Tupac, the rapper, the popular rapper Tupac. he sagged his pants, but then, you know, it was just something that a rapper did as part of his bad boy image, but now it's an institution. And it's sad that no one seems to understand what it is symptomatic and symbolic of. Michael Eric Dyson, for example, has said in his speech that he just sees it as a fashion fad, and that what the problem is their so-called sagging minds. Michael Eric Dyson is an idiot, and he said idiotic things before. He's sick. He tries to be a preacher, and he tries to be a college professor and teacher, and he tries to be a politician. He tries to serve too many masters. And it's ridiculous that the black community does not know how to judge or evaluate good leaders from bad leaders. But the purpose of this video was to just talk about how this crisis of black boys not having fathers just will not go away, and it's not being addressed by anybody. And of course, we see how bad that crisis is with the failure of black leaders, typified by the sentencing a few days ago of Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit, a young so-called hip-hop mayor who he was indicted on, he was sentenced to 28 years, and he deserved every one of them, because of all cities, Detroit should have been the glory of black political progress. When you consider that the first black mayor of all mayors was elected in the city of Detroit, Coleman Young, back in the 1970s. That was an absolute triumph. And of course, the city of Detroit had a black middle class because of the auto industry. So Detroit had a thriving, flourishing black middle class before any major city that blacks lived in. And now look at Detroit. It is rotten. Rotten. And it's a result of black on black scandal, typified by the black city councilwoman engaging in a shouting match with another black man who was on the city council. Oh, dear God. But black people, we don't want to accept any kind of reality. And of course, the black church keeps black people's head pie in the sky. Oh, dear God. Dear God. Fatherhood. Where do we hear anybody talking about fatherhood? We don't hear it in the black church, because they're telling the black woman the only man she needs is Jesus. We don't hear it from black politicians. We don't hear it from the black schools, and because they're teaching children about the gay lifestyle and the LGBTQ lifestyle, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, blah, blah, blah. The media, we are witnessing rot right before our eyes. But like I said, the purpose of this video was to talk about fatherhood and ask the question, pose the question, who else had a strong black father besides myself? And we know COINTELPRO is still seeking to stop the rise of the black messiah who would unify and electrify the masses of the black community, even though we have a black president. And we see how Barack Obama's presidency was absolutely mocked by the Republican shutdown of the U.S. government in defiance of the president's authority, the Supreme Court's authority, the authority of the Congress. Yeah, right before our eyes, we saw this. An absolute act of racist defiance to a black man who was the first black president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. So, black man, Fatherhood is the most important institution that you're going to have to build. That's the institution you need to build and defend, not the White House. That ain't none of your business, quite frankly. It's time for you to build the promised land. It's time for you to become the father of your community, the authority, the institution. That's what you should be building and defending. And that's the moral of this attack on Obama's authority and how he was mocked. He was mocked. This is the mayor of Blacktown. All the strong black men, let me hear you say it again. Amen.